All right, let's see. All right, we are live. It is now 4:21 Eastern Standard Time in the PM on the 6th of December 2016. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris, and this is my channel, Bar None 11970. And I want to talk about something that just I find absolutely ridiculous when it comes to the sleeping masses and how easily they are conditioned to just allow governments to walk all over them and steal their freedom and their liberties from them. And there's the famous quote, you have nothing to fear if you have nothing to hide. And like I say, as you see in the image, what a crock of you know what. Now, the reason that I'm even bringing this up is I was on my Facebook page because the 8 or 9 of you that saw my previous video, I was talking to people about a way to reach me in case my channel ever got shut down. So I was on my Facebook page and I checked somebody left a comment about something, a response that I left a while ago. Um, I've been seeing lately, and they love to use technology and the only point out the benefits to get the sheeple to buy all these very expensive gadgets without thinking more deeply into what they really can potentially become. And one of the things I've seen lately, if you look at online, a lot of people are talking about these home security systems that are now being installed in these remote controlled robots or these TV cameras that you could put, this little system in your living room or wherever, and you could view it from your cell phone. So I made a comment saying, yeah, these products are great for people that aren't, giving the NSA enough to spy on. Let's give them some real-time video footage of your home 24 hours a day. And most people started arguing with me about that. The sheep saying, oh, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, you're paranoid. And the people still don't understand that back in 2001, we created a thing called the Patriot Act, which is legal spying on Americans, where they tap into your phone, they tap into your computer. Some traitor a-hole NSA agent's probably listening to this now, and I'd like to tell him eventually you'll get what you give. So, keep being the real traitor and spying on us Americans. You can't stop us. You could slow us down, but you can't stop us. But the dumbest argument I hear is that very statement, and that's what made me want to make this video, where the person said, oh, if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide. So just think about how they're talking about this, and you can look online for all these new robots, where they have these little remote-controlled robots that can walk around your house, and they say, well, you can keep an eye on your dog and your cat, and you can keep your house from being burglarized, because from the convenience of your cell phone, you can see live streams of this robot projecting an image of your house in real time. Well, since we know the NSA can monitor and does monitor your cell phone and your computer, you are now giving them live video footage of your house when it's empty, what type of dog you have, what kind of security system you have, what kind of valuables you have. And people don't want to see this stuff. And when they use the ridiculous statement of, if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide, that just shows their ignorance. And that's why sometimes you have to sacrifice. When I learned that at airports, you have two choices. You can basically be groped by the airport, quote unquote, security and be almost sexually harassed in a certain way, how they really just are ridiculous in their pat downs, or you can go through the machine that's been proven to cause cancer. Well, since I've learned all that stuff, I have not been on a plane since since 2001, because I am not going to subject myself to either one of those two, because remember, the lesser of two evils is still evil, and sometimes you have to make sacrifices. But my thing is, where does it stop? You see them patting down small children. And I got so mad when I saw some elderly, he was either a man or a woman, I don't remember because it was years ago, that was at the airport, was confined to a wheelchair, and they physically had to pick him up and search this person and their wheelchair to make sure they didn't have a bomb. And I'm like, really? Because, most terrorists are like 98-year-old cripple people. It's just the idea of getting you to submit. They want you to be trained little dogs. And we, as the masses, police ourselves with these ridiculous statements. And my thing is, at what point is that no longer a factor? In other words, if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide. Well, what if they decide to put video cameras in your bathroom? Because, you could hide in your bathroom to make a bomb, can't you? So what if they say, well, we need to put live cameras in bathrooms and in showers to make sure you're not sneaking into there and doing something bad. And if you have nothing to hide, you should be okay with it. Well, what if all government buildings or any work building that you work for, before you're allowed to enter the building, you have to go through a full body cavity search? Because we don't want some terrorist coming in with a potential bomb that they stuck up their rear end. Got to make sure, and if you have nothing to hide, you'll be okay with it. You see how ridiculous that sounds? But in a way, it's not. Because how much of your freedoms and liberties are you willing to give up for the illusion of safety? And they show us time and time again how easily they can plant things and create false narratives and do things to scare you into submission. And until we decide that, no, it is not okay, nothing's going to change. And that's why, if you notice, especially in iPhones, one of the biggest things that they've changed recent years is the fact that you cannot take out the battery of your cell phone. So even if you have it on sleep mode or turn it off, they could still listen in. And the sad part is, when I talked about this 3, 4, 5 years ago, I was called crazy and delusional, when this is proven fact. The only way they cannot listen to you is if you unplug your TV or unplug your computer or take out the battery of your cell phone. So they made it, you can't do it. And you see all of these new phones, and I recently had to get a new phone, not because I was trying to waste money on a phone. It's just I had a Droid phone that I bought like 7, 8 years ago when it first came out. And I basically used it until I couldn't use it anymore and had no choice. And one of the options on my phone is to use the fingerprint. I disabled it. I won't use it. Because why would you want to put your fingerprint on something that could be traced? Why would you want to give that information? But of course they use it as security. Well, I just use a security password. It's a little bit more inconvenient, but I don't have to worry about giving out my thumbprints to a government. And the problem is, they make it sound so ridiculous that, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. And this is how they control people. So my question is, at what point does it infringe on your rights? And that statement of, if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide, no longer holds into play. So what if now, they eliminate credit cards and they put tracking devices in you, which they've already done to people. There are already people that brag about being implanted. And again, years ago I talked about this and I was called crazy. Oh, it'll never happen. It's science fiction. Well, that's what they want you to think. They want you to think these things are all science fiction. And that's why when it comes to things like even like Pizzagate, how many people have been, or potentially CIA operatives, making fake YouTube channels to try and get you to believe in their agendas? How easy it is to infiltrate. Like you've seen time and time again. Remember when they had Occupy Wall Street, when they actually had proven on video that cops were going in undercover pretending to be part of the protesters, and they were starting problems. How easily it is to infiltrate a crowd. And that's one of the reasons why I tell people to be careful when it comes to those things, because it only takes one infiltrator to corrupt the whole thing. You can have a fireplace. You only need one little spark to pop out onto the rug to burn your house down, even though 99.9% of the fire is contained in the fireplace. So that is how easily things can get corrupted. And they use fear to control you. So that's why I say, when somebody says, if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide, it is a load of crap. Because I am not going to allow somebody to violate my rights so I can have the illusion of safety. And we can see there are still terror attacks going on. There are still criminals out there. There is still violence in the world. So what are they saving us from? They just want you controlled. And people out there in the quote-unquote regular world don't want to see this stuff because they want the illusion of not having to work at all and have somebody else take care of them. Look to the left of you and look to the right of you. Look outside your house. How many shootings are happening right now? Are your next door neighbors out there ready to kill you? Is there a war going on? You ever notice, especially in the media, that all of these terrorist attacks are always happening somewhere else? I have lived in New York, well, on New York, because you can't live in it. Only corpses live in the ground. That's another thing where they like to talk to you about words and terminology. Because you ever notice they use death in a lot of our words? That's why you wake up in the morning. Well, where else can you mourn? That's why when you wake up, where else can you have a wake? That's why you have to earn a living. Where do you put your body if you burn it? You put it in an urn. That's why they ask you, "Oh, what town are you in?" "Oh, I live in New York." "Oh, you live in it?" Well, I always thought corpses live in something. You actually live on it. But my thing is, they're always trying to get you to be afraid of things so they can control you. And then they'll make you have the benefits. Like, yes, having those robots with the cameras roaming around your house, yeah, that could protect your dog from doing something or can actually spot a criminal, but it can also have the criminals spy on you. How many people can actually go into other people's computers or cell phones and hack them? So now they have free reign to be able to see what's in your house when you're not home. And that's why it's ridiculous, even on things like Facebook, how many people will post, "Oh, I'm on vacation," or "I'm at work right now," or "I'm doing this," or "I'm doing that." They might as well just say, "Hey, my house is empty. Come rob it." And they'll show all the wonderful new gadgets they got for Christmas, saying to a criminal, "Hey, look at all the nice things you could steal. You now know my patterns because I am at work at this time or I'm going on vacation. Come steal all my stuff." So you want to add a remote controlled quote unquote security device that can monitor everything in your house? They use these things to make you think it's a benefit, and then you never stop and think what it can be used for. And the sad thing is, anything can be used as a corrupted item, depending on the person utilizing it. I mean, you can have a knife to be used to cut your food, but you can also use that knife to cut your worst enemy or some stranger. You could do the same thing with a spoon. You could do the same thing with a car. You could do the same thing with a gun. It all depends on who wields it. And that's why you see time and time again certain inventions that were there for a certain reason all of a sudden become militarized. I mean, look at just sound. When they have a riot, what's one of the things they do? They bring in a big truck with a big loudspeaker and they blast sonic waves and hurt and damage people's ears. So they can take something as simple as sound and turn it into a weapon that can injure, that can maim. So if we want to give in to these fears and allow them to control us, they're going to continually take more and more of our freedoms away and use that same statement. "Oh, you have nothing to fear. Oh, you want to go to work today? All right, please drop your drawers, bend over. We're going to check and make sure you don't have a bomb. Well, if you have nothing to hide." Sounds ridiculous when you put it in that aspect. But I don't want some person frisking me at the airport. I don't want to be under some kind of machine that radiates basic poisons and toxins and radiations upon me. It's a choice. And this is something they're trying to get you to no longer think about, that you don't have a choice. Well, I guess we have to do it. And even my own mother has said about the planes when I talk to her about that stuff. She says, "Well, as long as it keeps us safe, so just put your hands up in the air, let some person pat you down, let them do it to your 6-year-old daughter." They talk about pedophiles and everything. What about these people that are groping people inappropriately at the airports? And we allow them to do it. We spread our legs willingly. Well, you know what? I refuse to. And that's why I tell people all the time, if you want to make real change, hit them in the pocketbook, not hitting them in the face. And that's why, for example, the video I made the other day about Jill Stein, somebody made a comment, and I'm not going to use their name, saying, "Oh, we should somebody throw an egg at that person." And I said, if you really want to hurt that person, how about stop funding her? How about stop giving her all this money? And the same thing with all these politicians. Stop giving your money to these campaigns when they're constantly stealing it from you. Because remember, one of Jill Stein's programs was, we're going to raise the money to help do the recount in Pennsylvania. Well, they dropped that. Did they return the money, or did they pocket it? Same thing with corporations. If you go and buy their product, they don't give a rat's behind what you say behind closed doors or even in front of the camera, because all you're doing is giving them free publicity. And there is no bad press. This is what people need to get. And the same thing with like YouTube channels that you don't agree with. Like, for example, so many people are starting to understand that places like the Young Turks, BuzzFeed, and some other bunch of these bigger channels, they're leftist propaganda. They're the real racists. And if you go to their channel, even to promote hate, by going there and saying, "Oh, I hate you. I'm not going to subscribe. I can't believe you're doing this." Every time you go on their channel, they get advertising fees. So why do you think they egg you on by saying the most ridiculous clickbaiting kind of stuff? It's to emotionally get you suckered in, and they use your emotions to profit off of you. So you know how many times I visit the Young Turks channel that I can't stand? 0. You know how many times I go on Alex Jones's videos? 0. Now that doesn't mean you have to agree with me. If you like those people, God bless you. You're allowed to believe in and like whatever you want. But if you don't like them and if you don't believe in them, don't go there. Don't buy their products. Because advertisers, they don't care about how you feel. They care about if you will click on the video or not. So if CNN is something that people hate, and people are advertising on the CNN website, they don't care if you're going there saying you love them. They don't care if you're going there to say you hate them. They just care that you went there. And that gives them revenue. This is what people don't seem to understand. So if you want to stop a dragon from eating the village, stop giving it its food supply. It starves to death. So you want to stop the corrupt media? Stop going there and insulting them. Stop going and making videos, bringing it to the attention to go view them. Just cut them out of your life. That's why I don't go to any of these news channels anymore. I don't waste my energy. I don't go to channels that use clickbait. As soon as I see a channel do clickbait once, I give them the benefit of the doubt once. They do it again, I never go to their channel again. And that's why I refuse to use clickbait videos. You will never see a title of my video and then all of a sudden there'll be something that's not even that has nothing to do with the title. Because like you could see with this one, it's all about if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide. So that's exactly what this video is all about. Yes, I'll go on tangents, but it's not like all of a sudden I'm talking about something that had nothing to do with the title. And I see that all the time. So all I know is until we can stop the emotional part to the point where it makes us do dumb things. You ever realize, like especially in relationships, you'll always in the heat of the moment say something that you regret in an argument. And later on, when you had time to think, you'll look back and say, you know what? I should have thought about that. That is what happens in life when we just react based on our emotions and feelings. I mean, look at the whole left side. They were preaching unity. They were talking down to the right all the time, saying how they're racists and all this stuff. And look at how they are overblown reacting to the fact that they lost. Where colleges need to give crayons out to their students and cradle them and cuddle them, and they become violent and they don't want to hear your ability to actually communicate. This is what happens when we're set down to a bunch of emotionally oversensitive people. It doesn't matter. It's not bad to have emotions. I've been emotional in my time. Sometimes over-emotional. That's okay. But I've never gotten to the point where it's now changed my life to the point where I have to hurt somebody for it. Yes, I've been mad at times when people have attacked me, but I don't spend the rest of my life going after them because 2 wrongs don't make a right. So if you want to eliminate the fear, you stop allowing the people that cause it to control you. It's problem, reaction, solution. They cause the problem, it creates a reaction, and they just happen to have the miracle cure. And they come out looking the savior. If we're smart enough to get it, why are we not smart enough to stop allowing it? And that's why even with Pizzagate, I talk about it from a perspective of, I don't know the truth because I have never been to some pedophile ring. I don't know what's going on. I think it's disgusting that anyone would want to do anything in a sexual way to a child. And those people should basically be severely punished for doing these things. I mean, my thing has always been, what's the matter? Like, that's why, like, in relationships in general with me, if somebody wanted to walk away, I'm like, okay, have a nice life. There's always somebody else. I never stalked people. I never understood that insecurity. My thing is, there's so many other people out there. Why worry about somebody that doesn't want you? So when it comes to children, how disgusting is that when an adult has to take advantage of the innocence of a child? And I'm not just talking about politicians. I'm talking about anybody. I mean, you think about the Catholic Church. How many jokes have been made to the point where, that's happened so many times they make comedy out of it. I don't find that stuff funny. That's why, to me, cruelty to animals and cruelty to children are the most despicable things that people can do, because they are two entities that barely can defend themselves. And I think it's a coward piece of garbage thing for people to do, and they should be punished for it. Now, I don't believe in murder, because then you're no better than them, but putting somebody in jail for the rest of their life for trying to do something against the will of somebody else. I mean, rape is another thing. I don't care if it's a man on a woman or a woman on a man or a man on a man or a woman on a woman. Doing something to somebody without their permission is wrong, and it's a cowardly thing to do. So yes, I'm going on another one of my tangents. And that's probably why I'm getting triple the amount of people watching as opposed to my other video, because it all has to do with drama. So when it comes to this stuff, it comes to losing fear and stop allowing the people that create the fear to allow us to justify it so it doesn't rock our boat. If we continue to contribute this stuff, it's going to continue to happen. So watch what the mainstream media and the government is going to do with the whole Pizzagate thing. They're going to get you to stop thinking about the potential pedophilia going on and focus on what they're labeling as fake news. And everybody's saying it. It's now the next buzzword. You have two new buzzwords. You have Pizzagate and you have fake news. Soon, everybody and their grandmother will be saying those words. They'll have no clue what's the deeper meaning. They'll just regurgitate what they hear. That's why you see people on the left all the time saying, oh, if you voted for Trump, that means you're homophobic, you're misogynist, you're xenophobic, and they go down the whole list of regurgitating what somebody else said. That's what the average person does. And if you want to live your life based on solely emotion and not think things through or think about the consequences or think about what could happen further down the line, it's going to be easy. It's so easy to control the people. So it's our job to wake these people up, to see what they cannot see. And that's why if you know anything about religion, one of the famous words was, I once was blind, but now I see. Most people who don't get it think that means that there was a blind person that got their sight. Well, in a matter of speaking, it is. What it's saying is you can have information right in front of you that you didn't pay attention to. Now, all of a sudden, you see things for what they really are. Like Ben Kenobi once said to Luke Skywalker, don't trust your eyes. They will deceive you. Or your eyes will deceive you. Don't trust them. And Yoda once said, luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. Most people don't understand what that means. Luminous is light. We are made of light. So I've pretty much hit every topic I can in this video. So as usual, I want to take the time to thank everybody that listens to what I have to say. I hope you will check out my other video that I put out about 5 minutes, 10 minutes before I made this video. Not many people have, and it's about if my channel ever got shut down, how to reach me. So don't believe everything that you hear. Don't believe everything that you see. But you're allowed to see and listen to everything to get a perspective. Just don't do it without question. And if you want to stop these people from creating these fears, you have to stop participating. Stop feeding the beast. Let them starve to death. A fire only continues if you give it wood to burn. If you take away its energy source, the flame goes out on its own. So whether Pizzagate is real, whether it's false, or it's somewhere in between, right now the mainstream media is going to be making our focus more on the actual people who talk about it. Just like with the Hillary Clinton emails. They wanted you to focus on Russia, supposedly hacking it, and how dare they do that, than the actual content of the emails. They're very good at making people look in a different direction. So how long are we going to allow them to do that, and how long are we going to believe in it? And that's all I have to say. So thanks for watching. I hope you all have a great day. Don't forget to flip the bird to any of the sold out NSA agents out there who are the real traitors, all the paid crisis actors who will sell their soul to trick you fellow Americans. Don't believe everything that you see just because it's presented to you. Don't be afraid to question it. Get rid of your bank accounts, open up a federal credit union, start getting your own food, being more aware of yourself. Stop working for anybody that works for a corporation that you don't believe in. Get rid of all your credit cards. Be more self-sufficient. Question everything. And don't forget to smile. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And don't forget to have your trolls spayed or neutered. Ta-ta.